What time is it? Well, I hope they don't mind me playing some games in the office computer. Okay, to put this simply, this is a worse version of FNaF 1. But to give credit where credit is due, this is the FNaF's first game he has ever made, which, with that context, it's okay. But what are my thoughts on this game? Well, I think this game sucks. The aspect ratio is whatever this is. Sonic acts like Bonnie and Chica instead of Freddy. Also, some of the windows are kinda funny. First, about the aspect ratio. This game was drawn on Flipnote Studios for the DSi. Then he sent the image files to his computer to edit. Which, if you didn't have a drawing tablet, this would be a great alternative. Which can explain why some of the windows just don't look good. But I'm not gonna say it's a bad thing. It adds uniqueness to the game. But everything on the screen feels so cramped together. Also, can we talk about the roster of characters? First, we have Sonic and Tails, which makes sense because this is called Five Nights at Sonic's. But the other two characters are Mario and Yoshi. Well, good news, I can answer that. Turns out the FNaF didn't know how to draw any more Sonic characters. And he also said he wanted to make a unique version of Five Nights at Sonic's. Also, the phone guy in this game is Luigi, and his voice is a bad Luigi voice. Also, there's a few Easter eggs, like Hidden Screen Tails, EXE Sonic Postal, and Golden Sonic. But one giant problem about this game, the power. Like, holy shit, does this power drain fast. And it probably doesn't help that Tails takes some power every time he knocks. But a weird thing happened to me. Well, on nights 2 and 3, no one showed up at my door, except Tails. But that's really all I can say about this game. This is the same as the first game, except for the second FNaF game. But good news, the aspect ratio is a lot better in this game than the first game. The title screen is just a copy of the Five Nights at Sonic's 1 title screen. The main menu theme is just the Five Nights at Sonic's 1 main menu theme, but in reverse. If you wait long enough on the main menu, the theme will just stop. Also, the music box isn't as annoying like it is in FNaF 2. And Wither Tails is the Wither Fox equivalent, and is so much easier to deal with. Also, there's two new characters in this game. First, Balloon Toad, which he acts like Balloon Boy, and Luigi Annette, which he acts like the puppet. Also, the drawing in this game is a lot better than the first game. Also, there's a lot more Easter eggs in this game, like the paper plates, Shadow Sonic, Yoshi and Tails, Luigi Kid, and there is a Shadow Mario, but due to a coding oversight, he won't appear. Also, Isla's version of some of the animatronics in this game. Same for Five Nights at Sonic's 1, it's not just Tails. Also, please say I'm not the only one annoyed with the hallucinations. The phone guy in this game is Knuckles, which in Five Nights at Sonic's 1, he was the Night Guard. Also, this game has one of my favorite drawings of all time. There's minigames, but I don't really care about the lore. But check out this video, which will be linked in the description below. But if you go into the custom night and put everyone's AI to 8, you will get a secret night 8, which when beating, you'll get a newspaper saying that Amy Rose and Luigi is missing. Also on the second night, Balloon Toad got into my office at 2 AM, and I survived until 5 AM. Surprisingly, in my opinion, I really like this game. I might even say my favorite FNaF game so far. You might be confused, because a lot of people, me not included, don't like FNaF 3. But this game adds a few new things. With the Toy Sonic, Mario, and Yoshi, which all you have to do is simply put the mask on. One last character was added, 27 Golden Sonic, which he acts like Golden Freddy. Also, there's a new systems reboot called the Office Power. Also, the timer goes to 8 AM instead of 6 AM. You might say, how is this better? This only sounds like negative things. Well, Savage Sonic isn't that hard to deal with within the normal nights. Also, might even say, fair to deal with. Also, Night 1 actually has a threat instead of sitting there and doing nothing. There's a little cool thing in the office where you can turn off the fan. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Also, the phone guy in this game is Silver, and he is voiced by the game Soundman.
Welcome to Sonic's Hero Pizza Palace, the third building in the establishment. My name is Silver.
Also, making rebooting systems not take as long as it does in FNaF 3, and so this game has a juggling act feel to it. There's also a secret character, Phantom Boo. He acts like Luigi Kid, and he appears on Cam 12. Also, in the minigames, if you step on the wires and beat Night 6, you will get an ending where the place burns down, with Salvage Sonic inside, which will give you the true ending. First, I want to say I love this gameplay and its mechanics, but I do not like this game. I'll go over why I don't like this game later, but this game adds one new animatronic and changes one of them. First, the one that changes is Nightmare Tails, which he is instantly in the curve behind you. and he's a lot easier to deal with than Nightmare Foxy. And the new character that was added is the Toy Mail, which when he is visible on the monitor on the desk, you are fine. But if he's not visible, look up and shut the vent. The new character works so well in the gameplay. I quickly want to go over the Easter eggs in this game. First, Phantom Savage Sonic. He can appear when you turn your light on one of the two hallways, and you can get jump scared by him. Phantom Amy shows up in the hallucinations. Last, Nightmaric. When you start a night in the custom night with everyone's AI set to X, you'll get his jump scare. But now, let me tell you why I don't like this game. The bugs. The main bug is the breathing, and a new one I just discovered. First, the breathing bug, when an animatronic will be at the door and they won't breathe. I didn't encounter this one, but when I first played through this game, I encountered this bug. So I don't have any footage, but I will use the footage from Yeah,
so you still don't know. Okay, oh my god! Where the fuck was the breathing? Oh my god,
This one's hard to explain, but first, let me show you the footage. Okay, so I heard footsteps and I quickly dealt with tails. Then checked the side with Mario on it, nothing, so I played safe and went under the desk. Then I heard a single footstep and then nothing. I waited a few seconds then decided to get out from under the desk to be jump scared by Sonic. This made me quit the game, because I already knew the first bug, but now knowing this exists, yeah, fuck this. This game is so fucking boring. Well, more like Nights 1 through 5. Let me explain. Nights 1 through 4 only has one clone, Origin Sonic, and he moves slow as shit, and all you have to do is when he's in the hallway or at the doors, just hold your light on him. And those vents, which if he gets in, you're basically dead. But because there's only one clone, it's not that hard to keep him from the vents. Night 5 introduces one new clone, Shadow Sonic. All you have to do is just not stare at him for a while. Also, there's a generator, which is basically just a music box mechanic, with the vents making the power go down faster. Between every night, you will get a cutscene where you can see Shadow Sonic, and every night adds one new Golden Sonic. On night 6, you will have to go against all of the Golden Sonics, which is the biggest relief, in which every night one of the Golden Sonics will be added. And when you beat the night, you get a jump scare by Origin Sonic. Then you will see a newspaper talking about the night guard being bit in the head. I wouldn't even blame you if you decide to quit the game before it got good. There's also hard mode, which, if you know what I said earlier, this is just like that, and it also makes the game harder, which I don't know why this is saved for the hard mode. Visually, the building is more decrepit. Also, all the Golden Sonics are a lot more creepy. Okay, the Fire and Sonics collection has FNaF 1 through 5, and when selecting any of the games, you can see the Start Game button, Game Info, and Team Scientific's rating, which I think is pretty cool. A few years later, an update collection was released. All it does is add FNaF's Fall Halloween Edition and rock clones. Also, the Team Scientific's ratings got removed. My opinions on FNaF's world is confusing. I want to like this game, but I don't enjoy the state of this game. Literally, this game crashed on me 12 times. And yes, I counted. First off, this game has more than just FNaF characters, like the Powerpuff Girls, Frisk from Undertale, Rainbow from FNaF World, etc. Even Savage Sonic's icon isn't even Savage Sonic, it's Sonic's power-out jump scale. Also, the animations are ugly as hell, except for this one. Also, the main four in Shadow Sonic are pixel art, and Balloon Toad doesn't even have his black outline. In the overworld, most areas are massive, with nothing inside each of the areas. At the end of areas 1 through 6, there's a boss fight. None of them are interesting, well, except for the last one, but I'll talk about that one later. Also, the character selection menu has so much room, but there's only 5 things in there. But area 6, after going through the scrap brain section, you go to a tent section like the Pinwheel Funhouse. But when entering this tent, you'll be brought to the Golden Layer, which at the end of the hallway, you'll see one of the Golden Sonics, which was the ending of the first version of FNaF World. Which quickly went to mention this, but I enjoy the overworld of the first version more than the final version. But if you hold W and D, you will clip through a wall and get brought to the development bin, which has some boss fights, which each of the fights will give you a character, and minigame. First, Blossom in Space, which this is gonna be surprising. I think this is more fun than the game itself. Yes, a fucking minigame is better than the whole game. Well, this minigame unlocks Buttercup and whatever this is. Next minigame is like Foxy.exe, and the 2 unlockable characters are Sonic 4925 and Phantom Tails. The last minigame is like Foxy Fighters. But for this copy of FNaF World, this minigame just doesn't work, which is really known that there's another build that I had when I recorded my old FNaF World video that had this minigame working. But the unlockable characters are Nightmaric, 27 Golden Sonic, Rainbow, Luigi, Nightmare Golden Sonic, and Space Blossom. But there's a final boss in this area, called Granddad. But this fight is a bit special. It has 2 phases. First, it's just Granddad with a timer. But after the first phase, you'll see one in Mario. And the timer will stop, but after beating him, you'll get one of the endings. And you'll get a new area, -1. But for some reason, I just didn't get this area when playing. So I had to edit the files myself to get this area. But in this area, there's 2 boss fights. Well, new boss fights. First one, you will have to fight through all the bosses, from areas 1 through 5. Then you can fight the first new boss, that doesn't even have a name. But before I fought the other boss, in this area I went into this portal, which in the portal you'll be brought into the flip side area, like in FNaF World. But in the flip side, you'll see these yellow circles. There's 8 of these around the flip side area. Each of them gives you one of the 8 characters on the bottom row. Then, if you touch the blue box, you'll go to area 8, which, if you couldn't tell, I wasn't supposed to go into this portal yet. But going back to area -1, I went and fought Team Scientix. Then, I didn't beat the fight. Okay, let me explain why I didn't beat the fight. Well, I've been playing this game for about 3 hours now. Then the game crashes for the 12th time, and I said fuck it, and stopped playing. But if you want to see the last 2 bosses in this game, just watch a playthrough or play this FNaF World remake, which is supposed to fix most of the issues in this game. Next, Sonic's Pizzeria Simulator. I'm going to review each gameplay section, so first the Tycoon section, then the Office section, and last the Salvage section. The Tycoon section is basically a more simplified version of the Tycoon section from Pizzeria Simulator. But a few things got removed, like adding safety to each of the items. Now it's just one button, and you just have to pay $50 to remove one safety. Also, a good chunk of characters from Faye Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator got removed in Sonic's Pizzeria Simulator. Most of the minigames got removed or replaced. Now for the Office gameplay. I want to say this very quickly. I think the Office gameplay is 10 times better than Faye Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. First, the animatronic mechanics. Faye Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, all 4 of the animatronics did the same thing. But Sonic's version does 5 animatronics, with Naruto simply shut the vent doors and use the audio lure to get him away. Next, 18 gold inside. When you turn to face your monitor, you have a chance to see him. Just look away from him. Next, Molten Tangle. When she is in the vents, just shine your light on her. Now, Righty and Lefty Sonic. I don't know how they work. I got stuck on Friday, but I'm pretty sure it's just a harder version of Night Motels. And one of the systems got changed from silent ventilation to a reboot system. There's 3 systems. First, vents, which will heat up your office. Next, maintenance, which will stop you from being able to do your tasks. Last, audio, which will stop you from using the audio lure. Last, salvages, which works the same, but instead of using a taser, you use a mask, and their value won't decrease. Also, there's an ultimate version, but due to time constraints, I haven't been able to play it. Five Nights at Sonic's Maniac Mania is the ultimate custom equivalent, with most of the characters acting the exact same as they did in the original game. There's a few exceptions, like Tails being able to run down both halls. Balloon Toad is like Dee Dee in this game. Phantom Balloon Toad acts like Balloon Boy. The main 3 nightmares act different. Instead of listening for breathing, when you see their eyes, shut the door. The toy mode, instead of being able to visually see him in the vents, you can hear a bang noise to let you know to shut the upper vent. There's also a new character in this game, but I'll save that for later. There's a bunch of content in this game, so I will go through each of the menus and talk about what's in the menu. Starting off with Maniac Mode. This is where you're going to spend the most time, with 36 challenges, with a 37th one that gets added later in. Next, the shop. This is where you buy plushies, office props, and skins. It's the fucking settings, what do you want me to say? Survival mode is playing through an infinite night, where every 1.2 seconds, a random AI goes up by 1, and power goes up by 14% every 45 seconds. And you have to survive for at least 30 minutes. The achievements page is where you view all the achievements, with 40 achievements in this game. The only interesting one is Annoying Friend Achievement, which if you decide not to get this achievement, and after you beat Maniac Mania mode and buy the letter, you will get the A True Friend Achievement. Lab mode is where you can find the aggressive mode and limited visibility, and you're able to customize the AI of Balloon Toad's challengers. The music page.
Want to listen to some tunes?
The jump scares page is where you can see all the jump scares. The tutorial page is just where Lefty Sonic explains the gameplay, which if you unlock every achievement, including beating Maniac Mania, this will happen.
Yeah! Yeah, there he is!
And if you click on the blue eyes, you will be brought into the Phantom Eating Night, which when beating, you unlock your final achievement. And a new challenge gets unlocked, Encore Mode.
Encore mode.
Okay, for FNaF and Rock clones, I will quickly go through both of the games. Both are cancelled and had a demo release for them. FNaF is an FNaF Fangame. What a big surprise. Well, when you first start the game, you talk to Golden Sonic, which he mentions to like and subscribe. You should probably listen to him. The map area isn't that special. There's a few things around the map, but it's just items to help you in battle. But in the later half of the game, you can find Yoshi. She's like Toriel from FNaF, with a fight at the end of the game. But I decided to show Mercy. Rock Clones is a Mega Man style game. I ain't beat this game, but from the demo, there's only 2 playable characters, Sonic and Mario, and 2 levels in this game, the Toy Sonic level and the Toy Mario level, where the lava rises or lowers. Okay, I'm getting tired of working on this video, so I'll make this quick. Find Night Sonic's Halloween Edition, and no, not this one, but it was planned to be in this video. To put this simply, FNaF's full Halloween Edition and the FNaF 2.0 games are basically the same game, but with a few changes. For this game, with each of the 4 Nightmares getting a reskin. First, we have Zombie Savage Sonic, Vampire Nightmare Mario, Killer Nightmare Yoshi, and Beta Nightmare Tails. Sadly, it seems like Toy Mario and Nightmare Golden Sonic got removed, but they add 4 new characters. First, Pawn Toads. All they do is when you look behind you, one of the 4 toads shows up. From the Night 2 tutorial, it says, the blue and green are safe, and if you see the yellow one, shut off your light, and if you see the red one, don't use your light and look away. Now for Shadow Devil. He acts like Toy Mario, which is pretty cool, but at the vent, you will see one of the 3 heads. First, if you see the Sonic head, just close the vent. If you see the Tails head, shine your light. And if you see glowy eyes, you have to hide under your desk. Nightmare Amy is similar to the main 3, but she doesn't make any breathing noises. When she's at your door, you have to listen to her stomping, and when it gets louder, go under your desk. Last, Nightmare Mimic, which she can act like the main 3 Nightmares. And Nightmare Golden Sonic, which I think this mechanic is pretty cool. I don't like how the mechanics got very complicated, but it also makes the nights not as boring to play through. Find that Sonic's 2.0 is a major improvement to the first game. First off, Sonic has a new mechanic of being able to show up on all the cameras. And if you don't look at him for long enough, he will go into a vent and kill you. And Golden Sonic can appear behind the posters. Just don't look at him, which makes this mechanic very simple to deal with. Also, there's an extras menu, which shows off the characters, jump scares, a night select, and a gallery. Also, the last thing the 2.0 version added is borders, so you don't have to look at black edges. And you even unlock a few after beating certain nights, which this one's my favorite. Five Nights at Sonic's 2.0, the main differences I could find in this compared to the original is instead with Sonic being a masked character, now he acts like Withered Tails, except he can also appear in the vents, which I didn't know that and died to him during my first time playing. Also in the extras menu you can see some secrets, which explains why there are evil clones and why Wither Mario doesn't have a face. Also there's a gallery like the previous game, a night select, a survival mode like Maniac Mania, and last, a real-time night, which at 12 AM you can start this night, which definitely makes this stressful, knowing that you only have one chance to do this every night, and same as the previous game of having borders, with this one being my favorite, but I also really enjoyed this one. The last Five Nights at Sonic's 2.0 game is FNaF 3 2.0, which sadly was never completed, and the build we got was a dev build. First off, none of the animatronics had anything new added to them. Well, I guess if you count them removing Phantom Boo for good reasons. All the 2.0 adds is minigames, which has nothing in it, a gallery that works similar to the last 2 games, and a night select. Also like the last 2 games, there's borders, which this one's my favorite. I'm gonna say this, but I'm pretty sad that the 2.0 games got cancelled. It would have been pretty cool to see what we could have got for the 4th game and 5th game. Now, let's go to the rankings. Well, that's it for this video. One last thing I want to mention, there are spin-off games, with there only being 4 games, being the Reimagined series and Solo Switch Up. So if you want to see a video on that, please let me know. Well, thank you all for watching this video. Have a great rest of your day. Please like and subscribe, and I will see.
Greetings. Congratulations. Are you expecting a reward? Now, get out of here.